First of all, let us launch an instance actually. I'm taking the Amazon Linux. Maybe going forward tomorrow or day after tomorrow, we will take the Ubuntu as well, so that we can cover two types of commands actually. I'm just keeping the same 64-bit ARM, and I'm taking the free tier eligible type, and key
Are you
pair I am.
sharing that same?
Sorry.
I see in only Notepad. I think the AWS page is not visible.
Okay. Oh, okay. One second. To launch an instance, currently I'm taking the Amazon Linux AWS AMI, and the architecture I'm keeping as the same, that is 64-bit, and the instance type I am selecting is the free tier. I want to create a new key pair because the existing key pair we downloaded yesterday is a .pem, and which we directly used it. But today I want to use the putty. Okay, putty is used to log into all the SSH instances remotely. Okay, so I will tell you like how to do that and how you can download that putty. Do you have putty in your desktop, Sashi?
No, I will download it later.
Yeah, sure. So I'm downloading the .ppk. Okay, this is like putty private key. Public key will be in the server. Private key will be with you as we discussed yesterday. In order to authenticate with the server, private key need to match with the public key, and then you will be able to log into the server. So in the putty, we need the .ppk. So we are downloading the .ppk today. So I just created the key pair, and it got downloaded. And I already have putty in my. I hope so. Yeah, you can download it directly from here. Putty download for Windows 10. You can download the latest one, okay, for the Windows. Can you download it parallelly so that it will be helpful?
Yeah, okay.
So you are able to launch it, right? Like when you click on Putty, are you seeing the same screen as me?
Yes.
Okay, then fine. So I'm keeping the VPC and security groups, and I'm opening the network to 0000 so that everyone will be having the access. There is no blockings or anything for that. And the next is I'm directly launching the instance. I'm going to my instance. We need to wait till the instance state becomes running, and the statistics need to be like 2 by 2 successful. Yeah. Now the instance state is running and status is initializing. Now it carries on the checks for us, and then it will tell you like if it is healthy or not. In the meanwhile, I'm copying the IP address. I'm going into the putty. In here, you need to take care of few things. Okay. In the putty configuration, if you see here the template for SSH, we are connecting to a connection type called SSH, secure shell. Okay. For the Linux server, we are trying to access with the port number 22, and the SSH port number is 22. So the first thing is you need to take the public IPv4 address and paste it in the host name. Once it was done, now before doing anything else, the first thing you should always remember is if you are using this server repeatedly, let us say this was the port number, and in most of the organizations, you there will be having a bastion host or jump box. Okay, you will use that bastion host or jump box for secure connection to the other servers, because in that bastion host you will be having your own network and you will be easy to able to connect to the other servers. So similarly, let us say if this is the bastion host IP, and you can't always remember the same IP address or name, right? So at that particular point of time, what you can do is if you see here there is an option called save. So you can give this IP address some name whatever you want. Let us say I'm giving it as test. Okay. Shit, what happened? I'm giving it as test. And the next thing is, after giving this, you need to give your private for in order to get into this particular server. Okay. So what I have done, I have clicked on SSH. In the SSH, I have clicked on auth. In auth, I have clicked on credentials. Okay. See again, connection, SSH. See, first I have clicked on connection. Then I have navigated to SSH. Then I have clicked on auth. In the auth means authentication. In the auth, I need to provide my credentials. So in the private key, there is an option called browse. So I'm just clicking on that browse. In the downloads, I have already my test one AB, right, which I just did. So I have provided that path, and I shouldn't open it because I want to keep it for ongoing sessions as well. So at that point of time, just click on save. Okay. So even if you just cancel it, now email lagging into the putty. I don't need to give all the details again. I just click on test, and if I click on load, you will be able to access the server. Sashi, you understood the process, or you want me to repeat it again?
Yes, got it.
Got it right?
Right.
Now, here I have logging in as the EC2 user, so that is what we configured in the AWS. AWS default username is EC2 user. So as I have already given the key, see, I was able to log in, sorry. Okay. So this is how the Linux UI looks like. And now we are going to work on the Linux. Okay. So first of all, let us discuss what is a Linux. Okay. So we are always familiar with the Windows. This is the Windows laptop. Okay. You always familiar like how the Windows is easy. You can always go to the file manager. You can click and you can open the files just at a tap. But Linux is not like that. It will somewhat look complicated when if you are a beginner, but it was a one good thing for always freshers. Actually, you can always know what is happening in application. The troubleshooting process is easy once you got to know the commands, and you got to know in which directory which configuration will be available and which feature will be available, and how you can check the services. It will be too easy actually. And even when we check out, right, I think we will I will even tell you like parallelly how you will check it in the Windows, and how you will check it in Linux. Anyway, we know like how we check in Linux, but even if you go in the forward organization, most of the times you will work only in the Linux servers. Okay. And coming into the Linux, right, it was invented by, sorry, it was created by a person called Linus Torvalds. Okay. Linus Torvalds. Somewhere around 1991. This guy created the Linus Torvalds. Okay. It is very cost efficient. It is high speed, as well as it is open source. Do you know open source? Linux is open source. Open source means
Mm.
the source code will be there, right, for the development of Linux. It is available for everyone in order for it to take a look and see how it can be developed. So that is why in today's presentation, today's present, if you see, Linux was more efficiently developing and increasingly rapidly using by the entire organizations. Because as the open source is source code, which is free, so most of the companies have taken that source code and they have developed their own Linux distributions, or it is called as distros. Okay, which means they have developed their own products, Linux products. Let us say Red Hat Enterprise. That is one of the Red Hat team developed. And we also have Ubuntu, OpenSUSE, CentOS. So different types of CentOS flavors came because Linus Torvalds created this Linux, which is in 1991, and he made this source code as open source. That means everyone can easily access their source code and they can develop their own products. So that is the main reason the Linux is developing very quickly in our present generation. Okay. And Linux stands for lovable intellect, not using XP. Okay. This is the definition for Linux, but no one will ask you like what is the definition of Linux, even in your company or even in interview. It's just for knowledge. Maybe you can, if you want to keep it in mind, you can keep it out. Okay. And the next thing is, so how Linux actually, this guy Linus Torvald created. There is one more software called Unix. Okay. Unix software is similar to Linux, but the only thing is it is proprietary. What meant by proprietary? Okay. Means you need to pay if you want to use the Unix. Okay. And it was somewhat more complicated when compared to Linux. So at that time, what Linus Torvald took is he has seen this Unix, and from there he started working on the and creating on the Linux. Okay. But Unix, we have still it around like 1960s or 1970s. We have the Unix software itself somewhere around. Okay. Unix we have around 1960s, 1970s. But at 1991, Linus Torvald saw that no, we need some more efficient, and we need more cost effective. So what he did is he has created this Linux for the use of Unix, and from there he made his open Linux as open source, so that the source code is available for all the developers. So because of that, in today's generation, the Linux become more efficient. So that if you see, we have a lot of flavors or distributions, or we also called as distros, so that everyone was efficiently able to use. Even we are today using this Linux because of that particular guy, because he made the open source code. The system sometimes may go off, okay, because sorry, not system. The because of no activity, right? It may go down the terminal. So at that point of time, what you can do, Sashi, if it is not responding to any of your command, here if you will see putty inactive, that means you are not able to respond. So on the top, you are seeing this white, right? White. You can just click on it, and if you see it as inactive, then you will see a option here called restart session. You can click on that, and a new session will start out. And if you don't see any inactive status here, but still if you are not able to click, then you can just click on this duplicate session, and a same duplicate session will open up. You can just again log in into it. Okay, it won't happen
Okay.
for you in your normal organization. It will only happen in your normal AWS account when you are practicing. So it is fine. So you won't face this issue in going forward in your organization. Those are more efficient, and there will be more networking. Here you are open to open source, and we haven't configured it properly with all the VPCs and so on and so, right?
Okay.
And the next thing is, right, so once you got to know, and one of the thing is, in a Linux, we are telling it as operating system. But in order for the Linux to operate, right, there is a brain. Just like how what our brain does, it will give instructions to our entire nervous systems, and it will tell us like what to do, what not to do, and everything. Similarly, for Linux, it has something called kernel. Okay, kernel is the brain of Linux. Okay, so it will tells like how to interact. For example, hardware needs to interact with software, right? In every operating system, hardware, software. So this Linux will tell like how, sorry, this kernel will tell like how this hardware should communicate with the software. So this manages it, just like how our brains will tell like which action need to done by how. So similarly, it will tells the same. Okay. And we don't even only have a kernel in the Linux. It also has the many other components like collection of some software packages, utilities, and everything. And together it makes a distribution, nothing but Linux. A combination of this kernel and other software packages is combined called as a distribution, and that was it which makes as a Linux operating system. And the next
Okay.
thing is like characteristics of Linux, right? Similarly, how we discussed the characteristics of cloud computing, its advantages. Similarly, it will be good if we know about like how Linux is useful. So Linux is open source, okay? As we already discussed, Linux is like one of the wonderful tool or wonderful operating system, which once we go into the hands-on, right, you will be able to know, you really love it actually, like how you able to do it. And the features are also, it was too good, like you will be having the directory separate, so you can find out like whatever the information you want in that particular directory and everything. And multiple users can access a single system. It is not like only one user can access only one system. And Linux is very secure. Let us say, right, I have the private key. Without private key, you won't be able to access my system, even though if you know my public IP address. So similarly, the next thing is, right, multiple programs or multiple applications we can make it run in this particular EC2 server. And the next thing is, if we go into dig deep, and there are some advantages of Linux, that is like most of the file formats we will be able to do it. Yeah. So any time of the file format like PDs, VF, CSV, everything we can upload it and we can manage it here in the Linux. And the next thing is like it is free of cost, as we already told. Linux, you can use it freely without costing anything, just like how I am using it now. And the next thing is, right, you can use it day by day for all your application processes, managing and everything. And even if it crashes, right, again, we can get the information safely and securely. And one more the thing is like even if you want to create a user in the Linux, it won't ask your entire information like what is your address or what are you from or where are you from, tell me about yourself. It won't ask all about it. Just you just need to create the user and you just need to provide the password, and the user can actually access this particular instance. Okay, so you, even the user, it ensures the privacy of the user and it doesn't collect more user information. The only information disadvantages which I felt about the Linux is, or the most of the beginners is, whenever they see the Linux, right, there will be like multiple commands. They need to read it out and they need to know when to use which type of command. So once they get to know, the Linux is very easy, or else they feel it's complicated.